Hi all and welcome to the fresh new episode of InFocus webinar series from Locus. I am Wrinkle Kenya and I lead the field marketing events at Locus. At Locus, we always look to helping our customers to grow their business and delivering a great customer experience with a last mile dispatch management platform. As part of this webinar, we bring in some exciting topics and leaders from the industry who can help us empower with the key trends and happenings in the logistics space. Today, we have with us Rajiv Purmal, who is the VP of Product Management at Locus. Rajiv comes with 14 plus years of experience across retail, e-commerce, and the logistics space. He's been around for 9 plus years in the retail and e-commerce industry in the North Americas across companies like Walmart and the Tatas. Rajiv is here today to bridge the gap between effective third-party deliveries with excellent customer experience in the e-commerce logistics space. Over to you, Rajiv, and we would love to hear some insights from in this masterclass.
Thank you, Wrinkle. Hi, everyone. Over the next 20-30 minutes, what we will see is we'll see the changing trends of how the e-commerce landscape and has changed in the US and the rest of the world. And what does this mean for retailers and brands? And with the growing needs of the customer, which is probably never ending, how or what can we do to enable it and make businesses more sustainable? So when you think of this, right, look at this. When you think of, say, the 1970s and the 80s, you had individual brands that were growing in the US. You had brands like your Esprit, whether it was a Levi's, Kinney Shoes, they had individual brand stores. So when you have your own brand stores, these are company-owned stores, right? So in company-owned stores, certain things that you can guarantee the experience your customer gets when they walk in. You know what stock you hold. You know exactly how you're going to market the product, at what price it's sold. You have almost had complete control. But things changed. Businesses grew. They wanted wider reach. And then you saw a spurt of large retailers that came in. Large retailers like your Walmarts of the world, your Targets of the world, Kmart back in the day, Sears, Costco's. When these retailers / wholesalers started coming in, what happened was one single roof, under one roof, they had a bunch of different category of products that were sold. So this made it easier, say, for the end customer to go to one place and say, take care of most of their shopping needs. Hence, you saw a big move in the industry where people started moving here. While this helped with customer convenience, what did it do for the brands? It reduced the control that brands had. Brands now couldn't completely control the experience. While there are certain cases and scenarios where brands still had like a brand expert or a rep who would stand near the stall at a store, it wasn't really scalable. So this kind of started reducing the control they had. And also here it almost always became about, okay, we have X amount of stock. It's about clearing stock. And even for retailers, large retailers wanted to be very aggressive. This was the growth. This growth lasted a couple of decades where we saw this literally fueled the whole retail story. And as the beginning, the early 2000s, 2005 onwards, you started seeing e-commerce players, and that was kind of spearheaded by your Amazon going online. And they started becoming a retailer, but online. So that's why the growth of e-commerce, right from your Yahoo stores of the early 2000s, and then your retailers following suit. What did this do? So when you started seeing your Amazons online, Amazon basically made it easy now, even easy for a customer, saying you don't really even need to go to a single store to do that. You can sit at home, or you can, on your way back from work, you just have a phone or a laptop, you just log into Amazon.com and you're able to see all your products. And this didn't stop with Amazon. Looking at convenience, looking at the way customers started adopting it, every big retailer started doing this, whether it's your Walmart of the world, Targets, Costco, name it, everyone today is online. Online business for certain online only players like an Amazon was 90% of the business. Whereas someone like a Target or a Walmart, for them, it was still a small percentage. They were just building there. Then the whole world went, we had our pandemic in 2020 when everyone shut down. What did that do? Once you couldn't step foot in the store, that really accelerated and fully fueled the growth for e-commerce. So you had every big retailer focusing a lot more on the online experience. They started ensuring that the same experience that they would give you if you walk into the store is now available even when you go on their website. And the harder part in the website is you have a customer's attention for less than 30 seconds, right? So one, in that, to be able to show value, the merchandising, are you getting the right price? And also think about it, what does it do to a brand? Now, as a brand, for me, it completely meant that while if you sell online and offline, a person comes into your store, he or she looks at an item, says, okay, great. Do I like it? Yes. Should I buy it? Maybe, maybe not. Your decision happens there. But when you're sitting online, uh, you can take a call. If you want to compare, it's not as hard as walking to another store. It's as easy as opening another tab on your laptop or just switching windows in your phone and taking a look at what the competitor has to offer. So now the whole thing of uh, shopping became very easy. Comparative shopping became easy for a customer. So the effects for a brand now is that pricing and discounting became important because a price conscious customer now had a lot more options to easily shop from. And here, there's almost no control that the brand had when it came to the experience that they gave the customer. So if you see this transition, it almost brings us to a place where as brands, we really want to have more control. So, what do we say? As a brand, do we then say, no, I do not want to sell online. I want to be a pure offline brand? That's not an option. At the same time, right after the pandemic, with things getting back to normal, life going back to normal, we saw that now there's business in both. Now there's a good number of customers who prefer online. Few customers still want to go to their store, and few want to use a bit of both. Hence, the importance of coexisting. The omni-channel story since the 2020, 2021 has probably been a common theme across retailers in North America. So yeah, it's time to take back control. And no, that isn't my dog. He isn't that disciplined. Coming to Apple, right? When we think of Apple today, Apple is a very big brand. But if you actually look at the crux of it, it is still a D2C. It's a direct to consumer brand. And Apple, the importance or the beauty of Apple is there in every single channel that I spoke about, whether it's a physical store, your Apple stores, the Apple flagship store in 6th Avenue, or apple.com, you go online and shop, or your website, or your marketplaces like your Walmart, Amazons, and your targets of the world. So the thing with Apple is, one, they're available everywhere. Second, the experience you get, they ensure a certain amount of experience, a guarantee of experience. If you walk into the Apple store, the customer experience that you get, vis-a-vis what you go on apple.com, you order, the ease of which you can buy an item, you can choose an item, and at the same time, the way it's delivered, and certain minimum guarantees when it comes to marketplace on how is it sold and how is it listed, they get to control everything. And one interesting thing, if you notice Apple sales distribution over the years, where whether you start at 2018 all the way to 2022, you'll see a steady increase in the direct to consumer contribution. The dark magenta at the bottom, if you see, it's almost 38%. It's almost nearing 40% of their sales is direct to consumer. Now, why is this important, right? When you sell on marketplaces, the marketplace or your is the one that's getting your customer. They get the customer and they give them a host of opportunities and options that they can choose from. They may look at multiple Apple phones, Samsung phones, and then decide. So for a customer who really knows what he or she wants to buy, it's a straightforward decision. But there are a bunch of us who come there and say, okay, I need a phone. I probably need the most important thing for me is a camera, and I need a 5G phone that supports 5G. With those filters, the marketplace lets me choose across brands. But as a brand, you don't really control that customer's decision making. Now, so the more you bring the customer to your own website, the more you control the customer. You have retention of customers, and you can, whether it's your upsell, cross sell, or retaining the customer, having a better customer lifetime value increases by having them on your site. And what does this entail? When you look at, to give you an example, say you think of something when you're looking to buy, say, a phone, something that's about $1,000. You go on Amazon, you trust the website. You're like, okay, I know my $1,000 spent here as a customer is safe. If I'm not very happy with something, I can absolutely return it, get my money back. So you're safe, you're ready to spend that much. Whereas if it's a brand new D2C, a website that the customer hasn't really seen, the probability of a customer really spending $1,000 there is not very high, because the customer first needs to know that the site is credible, right? The customer will then look at this and say, okay, why not? This product's available on a marketplace. I might as well buy it there for now. Uh, After a couple of times, maybe once I'm comfortable with the brand, then I'll think about transitioning to D2C. Moreover, marketplaces are comfortable for me. Now, that's where it's important for D2Cs to start controlling the experience, controlling how people perceive their site, and giving them that confidence that they are happy to shop with them. Now, when you think of D2Cs as a market, direct to consumers as a market, by end of 2024, we expected to have over 200K D2Cs in the US alone. And this a projected market size over 200 billion. That's how big the market is. And this will account for over 15% of the overall e-commerce sales. So this is actually showing a clear shift where big brands are becoming D2Cs themselves. They're trying to reach the customers themselves aside other channels. So it's another channel for them to maximize sales. Additionally, there's a second bunch of retailers, people who are selling in your marketplaces, like who just started as a marketplace seller, sold on Amazon, sold on Walmart. They have grown, they've created a private label, which now they see, yes, people relate to us, look at us and know that we are a private label brand. And these are brands who are now, who also want to add another channel outside of marketplace, diversify their channel, and they want to start D2Cs. So these two are contributing to the biggest contributors, say, to your D2C growth. Here, when you come to D2Cs, right? When I start interacting with my customer, when I want the customer, one, to think that I'm safer, I'm better to ordering it in the site than your marketplace. Two, I will get the same experience, or at least a near same experience as I would get, say, when I go to the store. So ensuring that kind of customer experience becomes important. And yeah, survey-wise, over 60% respondents, not surprisingly, gave an amazing buying experience as the reason to shop on a specific website. Finally, coming to established brands, yes, every established brand going to D2Cs is important. If you actually see 75% of them, of D2Cs in contribution by volume in 2022 are from big brands. These are brands who probably earlier thought, I'm happy dealing directly with my huge chunk of, say, mom and pop stores or offline multiple small retailers and departmental stores, but now they want to go direct. So we've spoken a lot, right? Over the last few minutes on how the importance of D2C, importance of omnichannel. These are all the right things. This is improving the customer experience. This is making the world smaller and easier for us to order. Then what's the problem? I mean, why are we even talking about this? The biggest problem is cost. Now, as initially, when we started, it was saying, I'm going online. It's just a website. If I'm selling direct to consumer, I don't need to have a physical store. So I'm saving on rentals, I'm saving on offline capex. It sounded great. But that was when the scale was small. The scale started growing. Customer needs started growing. Customers no longer said, customers initially probably trusted an online site for maybe $50 purchases. Now they're trusting it for a lot more. They're trusting it for things that they want the same day. Groceries, how many of you all can order groceries and wait for a week? You can't. You want it in the same day, or max on a specific a day, maybe a day later. So when you look at things like these are experience that needs to be enabled. Now, to enable this comes at a significant cost. So, projected currently about up to 20%, 15 to 20% of your costs of e-commerce in your e-commerce revenues goes as a cost for logistics. That's to power the sale, deliver it to your customer. And this only is increasing due to multiple things. One, the one I spoke about on customer experience. Second, last mile costs are increasing, fuel costs are going high, and also the pressure of wages. And this is more evidently visible in North America and, say, developed countries as opposed to developing countries due to the higher wage bill. Now, when you look at customers, right now, what are customers' expectations when it comes to most of your, I would say, omnichannel retailers or D2Cs? They would look at one, shipping fee is a big deterrent. Most of them want that convenience. They want to be able to order it from home. But if you ask them to pay a shipping fee to ship your order, and if that's significant, then they have this dilemma saying, should I just pick it up from the store? Or should I pick it up from a marketplace where, Amazon is going to discount it for me and give me free shipping because I'm a Prime member? Now, that becomes a deciding factor for customers. Maybe at a nominal fee, great experience, they're ready to even foot the bill, but that varies customer to customer, and that is a tricky point. Then when you look at fulfillment choices, right now, when you look at fulfillment, gone are the days where fulfillment just meant I order, I get it at home. Now people want other conveniences. People, both of say, they're dual workers in a family. They place an order, they're at work, an order comes home. If it's a low ticket item, you don't mind if your UPS or a FedEx guy just drops it on your fairway right outside your door and goes, and you'll just pick it in. It's fine. But then, as the order value started increasing, when you started ordering things like, say, I mean, for an example, one of the most gifted items in North America for during the holiday season is a Roomba, a robotic vacuum, because it's compact, it's a cool, nice to have feature, and it's nice to gift. It's a family gifting, uh, uh, say, an item thing. So a Roomba is not $50. A Roomba is upwards of $700-800. Now, that being left on your doorway, also there's a safety concern. You're not now comfortable leaving $1,000 outside, $1,000 a gift on your doorway. You want that delivered when you're at home. So now it's not just fulfillment when, it's also about getting fulfillment when you're there. Or as a convenience, right? You want to place an order for something, you order a bunch of things. You're not going to be at home, but you're on your way home, and you know there's a store at home. There's a store on the way. Maybe there's a Walmart on the way. You'll pick it up from a Walmart. You're happy picking it up. That does two things. One, what if you need the items the same day and there is no delivery available on the same day? Uh, Ideally, in a scenario, say 10 years ago, you would go to the store physically and buy it. But today, people are looking for options where they would order online and pick it up from the closest store. And anecdotally, if you look at even Walmart, when Walmart even introduced something called an in-store exchange, where you say you buy an item, most of your retailers today offer exchanges. You buy a product, you are free to go and return it at any Walmart store. So when Walmart offered this probably is one of the biggest contributors to NPS back in 2020. So this is how important having multiple fulfillment choices for your customers are. On-demand fulfillment with more and more consumables and perishables coming into online ordering as a medium for customers. On-demand fulfillment is also on the rise. Here we want to order grocery, we want it the same day because we have plans. Or you don't see on-demand and as much, say, in categories like electronics. However, when you look at groceries, to a certain extent, we even seeing apparels where people want things the same day or max the next day. Now, how do you give on-demand fulfillment? Enabling that comes at a cost. So that is something that's adding on. Then time and day definite deliveries. So say about 3 years ago, if you've seen positioning of most of your retailers selling online, everyone were on this rat race saying, I want my goods delivered the fastest. And they even called out success stories. And this is not just the US, it's across the world. There are certain parts of the world where they even had 10-minute deliveries for groceries. That's how much time deliveries was important. But over the years, what retailers have learned is while having it quick, giving them the comfort of quicker delivery is important, majority of the customers, majority customers want it on a definite day and time. They may not necessarily need it in 1 hour or 2 hours. They're okay if you say, I'll give it to you tomorrow, but give it to me when I'm at home. When I come back home between 6 and 8 p.m. is when I want it. That is more important than getting it the same day. And at the same time, the cost to fulfill an order within the next 30 or minutes or within the next couple of hours is exponentially high. It comes at a significant cost. So customers are saying, okay, don't give it to me in 2 hours, but give it to me. Tell me when are you going to give it to me? And that also, when customer looks at ordering something, there are certain things that you're okay saying, okay, I probably need an extra joystick for my PlayStation. I order it, I'll get it in 2-3 days. Great, I get it by the weekend. I'm happy. I'm playing this weekend. Otherwise, I can wait. But there are certain other things that you order for, say, an event. Say you're buying a gift for someone. You order it online. You only want to order it online if you know you'll get it within the 20th of a month because you have a wedding to go to or a birthday to go to where you want to give this gift. Otherwise, you don't need it. Otherwise, you're happy going and physically picking it up at a store. Hence, having accurate delivery forecast, not after delivery, even when you're placing an order, saying, order it right now, when is the fastest you can deliver it? And what's the range by when I'll surely have it? Customers want that visibility. And lastly, I've placed as a customer, customers have placed orders. There are times a customer wants to cancel. If the customer is not yet, if as a retailer you haven't yet shipped an order, the customer is saying cancel it. If you don't have mechanisms to cancel, what happens? You place an order, you ship the item. So you already incurred full cost to pick pack, then you fulfilled it. It reaches the customer. The customer says he doesn't want it. Then there's a return to origin. It comes all the way back. In certain cases, there's also multiple attempts. So your order goes, you attempt it, the customer refuses to collect it. Shipping provider does a second attempt, has the same response, and then the order is shipped back. And generally, reverse shipping is almost double of forward shipping. So think of it as a retailer or as a D2C. If this whole experience of return to origins or returns is an expensive affair, especially considering one, there's zero revenue. There's also revenue that you currently don't account here, but customer acquisition also is a cost, right? When you think of yourselves, you have your own website, you spend on ads, you spend on affiliates to get a customer to your website. That cost also is an absolute waste when it comes to a return to origin or a return. So all of this, so when you look at all of this, you see that customers' expectations are significant when it comes to online retailers. And this increased demand of D2Cs has fueled the whole ecosystem, whether it is customers, in customers, like we were talking about, transparent, 93% customers want complete transparency. I want to see where my order is, who's bringing it. Is it a FedEx? Is it a USPS? Is it a UPS? Who is the shipper? When will I get it? And the whole hop as to saying, where is it? How is it transitioning across? And in certain categories, they also want real-time visibility, saying, okay, the order is left. What's the route? Where is the delivery exec or the shipper coming from? So that becomes important. That's for a customer. Then when you look at yourselves as, say, retailers or shippers, for you all, it's more important saying certain retailers have their own fleet with which they want to completely control the experience for a customer. So they have their fleet delivering. Whereas certain other retailers or D2Cs may completely use an outsource. And then there's a bunch of them using a mix of both. Now, when you use multiple, say, third party and outsourced shippers, you want to ensure that these are reliable shippers, right? You want to ensure that when you promise a customer delivery of a certain item, it really reaches at that point in time. The shipper is able to deliver on time. The shipper is able to give you good serviceability. So 82% of shippers rely on these third party providers, and that's why it's important for them. And lastly, looking at 3PL warehousing solutions, right? 3PL end-to-end solution providers. Most of these, so some of these newer D2Cs who are just growing, who probably haven't yet scaled enough to have their own warehouse and operations, rely on third-party providers where they spend and they focus their efforts on, say, product development, marketing, customer acquisition, and they give away their product, that is handling of products and fulfillment and shipping, to 3PL providers. This is probably the reason you've seen a mushrooming of a bunch of 3PL warehousing providers, full service providers at Baltimore and across the US alike. So here, these providers, they also want to, considering the number of shipments they have, they have both their own fleet, they have a bunch of outsourced fleet. And to ensure they have great serviceability, such that a lot more D2Cs trust them, they go to a lot of these outsourced providers. So they want to have, one, visibility, great integrations with providers. Two, how do you choose between your own fleet and an outsourced fleet to ensure that it's profitable and at the same time reliable? What does this mean, right? What are the questions that are coming right up to us as supply chain leaders? Captive fleet. Do we have a captive fleet? Should we use them, or should we use a mix of captive and outsourced? What is the right balance? How do I ensure great service quality? How do I ensure my SLAs are met? How do I keep my overheads in check? By using a lot of these systems, by using multiple systems, by integrating with each carriers. That's not my primary business, right? As a D2C, you don't want to do all of that. You want to focus on your product. And lastly, availability. Yes, I take orders, but what if I can't fulfill it on time? Or you have a sale on your website. Am I able to immediately account for that additional growth? How do I do all of these? This is what, say, every D2C or every supply chain expert in any enterprise is currently looking at. Well, from Locus, one and all, our answer to this, our orchestrate, orchestration layer as an answer to this is Shipflex. Shipflex is used, is built, one, to deliver, give you complete visibility, ensure you'll have flexibility in fulfilling your orders, and then a good and layer of intelligence which helps enable these and do these in an effective manner. Let me go right to left. When you talk of visibility, what do you guys as a T2C need? Shipflex enables you to ensure this complete tracking data, whether it is via bots, whether it's via emails, SMSs, WhatsApp. So both for you as a retailer, for the shipper, and for your end consumer, they're able to clearly view where their order is, how is it transitioning, how is it going. So as a retailer, if you see there are delays, if you want to flag it off, reach out to the retailer, or ahead of time let your customer know about the detail, that is something you can do. And as a customer, you're tracking an order. Sometimes customers even look at real-time tracking. They see, okay, it's reaching on a specific day. You're not going to be available. You want to ahead of time let the retailer know to maybe delay your delivery. Those are things you can do. And when it comes to even customers, outside of just telling the customer you've shipped an order, you also want to continuously keep working with the customer, give them continuous updates. Look at how you can enable, say, cross sales, upsells on your tracking page. That becomes something that you market. So, from a visibility point of view, it's a complete stack of everything that you would need from both a customer and a retailer is what Shiplex powers. Then, when you come to flexibility, right? As flexibility, you today as a brand, you don't want to restrict yourself to saying I only sell on my website, or I only sell offline, or I only sell on marketplaces. You want channels, you want orders from everywhere. In fact, one of the newer ordering channels we've seen is a bunch of these retailers have customers walking into a store. You see it's out of stock, but you know you have it in stock at your warehouse or in another store. People are taking in orders on an iPad and making sure it's delivered at home. So there are different channels in which you see these orderings. So with Shipflex, one, it lets you aggregate your orders in one place. And then Shipflex is integrated with a host of carriers. So what we would do at Shipflex is Shipflex uses your contracts, your agreed special rates that you have with these carriers to then come up, give you a list of providers that will help you fulfill these orders. It then even lets you choose which shipper. Now, the choice and the flexibility here is one, you can rely on us, Shipflex, to choose which the best provider is based on your criteria. Say you want the fastest, or you want the most reliable for a given zip code, or you want the most low cost one. You can let us know and the engine will help you choose. Or if you have certain logics and rate cards on how you want to fix it, saying, okay, if it's these set of zip codes, this part of East Coast, or if the criteria is on 1 day shipping with this 2 day shipping, I want to use these sets of providers. If you have a list of rules, even that can be configured, and Shipflex will let you use that, and it will use your rules to then help you choose a carrier. This is to do with visibility and flexibility, which ensure that your costs remain in check, ensure that you have complete utilization. Then comes the whole intelligence layer. This is where we add value. We look at here, right from carrier choosing the best carriers, and not just choosing, right? Today, you want to ensure great delivery. You say you use a bunch of partners, you use FedEx, you've shipped it to a specific zip code. Do you today have visibility saying, okay, for this zip code, whenever say FedEx shipped it, there was always a delay. There's say 30% more chance for delayed shipments or no first time deliveries, FADRs. No, right? That is where intelligence comes in, where there's a learning model in Shipflex which continuously learns from one every shipment executed data and sees how each of these vendors perform, each of these carriers performs, and then it gives you knowledge saying, okay, this order ideally for the best customer experience, keeping in mind all your criteria, this is whom you should be using. And yeah, whatever I spoke about, this is just some snippets of how your experience would look, whether it is generating your order manifest, or when you look at carrier selection, yes, it'll show you all your available carriers, the rates. These are rates that are your rates, your agreed rates that you have with providers. And then once you dispatch, an ability to track it all the way to the customer and even get feedback on the shipping from the customer. So all of that is powered by a ShipFlex. What does this help you do, right? Today, say you as a customer have an agreement with n number of carriers, and these carriers help you ship and reach to say X number of service zip codes. Uh, use With ShipFlex, we'll also talk about other integrations that are available, say that enable same day delivery. By using our host of carriers, maybe today FedEx and UPS lets you ship and ensures 2-day deliveries. But with our, say, hyperlocal on-demand carriers, which are on a platform, you will now be able to give your customers same-day delivery. Second, we do see during sales, say you come to Black Friday, Thanksgiving, there's not a single retailer who says, I have done a great job in planning my orders. I've got right number of orders and I've shipped everything on time. We almost always run out of uh, partners to ship. With our wide network of carrier partners, you even have the ability to quickly source additional partners in these sudden spurts of growth. And lastly, reaching customers nationwide. As a product, this product, one, we try to ensure it reaches a vast number of zip codes. In addition, this product of ShipFlex is available across geographies, not just North America. It's available in India, in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia. It's available in a host of different regions. So as a product, it's a horizontal available everywhere. Well, that was a quick snippet on what ShipFlex has to offer. More than me, I think this gives you an idea as a retailer. This probably talks about everything that you can enable via ShipFlex. If you'd like to know more, I'd say quickly you could go to locus.sh/ship-flex and you'll be able to read all about it. You'll probably even see a quick demo URL where you can see how it looks, the user touch and feel, and you can reach out to us there. Coming to the end, what are our takeaways as brands, right? We saw a host of things. Firstly, it's important for a brand to be online. Not being online is almost not an option for a brand any longer. And second, for brands that are offline coming online, having that omni-channel experience, right from ordering to how the order is delivered, what is shown as how is it merchandised, having that complete customer journey and having the same customer journey, whether they come to you offline and online, is important. And with these continuous advancements in these customer experiences with, say, how an order is delivered in your logistic needs, the industry is growing at a rapid pace. It's important for you to future-proof your business by ensuring you have the right partners, right solution providers who are continuously evolving and innovating. Then, while you give these great services, it's important that you keep everything in check, your costs in check, because just giving experiences at the cost of your cost rising makes your business not viable. Hence, it's important to optimize it for one, visibility, how your order is being delivered, what is it costing you, and what's the most efficient way of fulfilling an order. And lastly, yes, technology has been the biggest accelerant to everything that we do in the last mile and supply chain. And today, technology coupled with use of data is powering this and making sure you don't just give deliveries and give experiences in an efficient manner. You also are able to personalize it for each customer. That for me, with this, I come to the end of this webinar. It was a quick snippet on how we see e-commerce, the growth of e-commerce, and what does it mean for each of you retailers. So yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Rinkle.
Thanks, Rajiv. It was a great journey to, actually go through the entire piece of right from changing the customer behavior to taking back control and then also addressing the supply chain questions and finally arriving to a very comprehensive solution that is ShiftFlex, right? To our audience, thank you everyone for being a very patient audience. And also, if you have any questions, do write to us at contact@locus.sh. We will be very happy to answer your queries. And stay tuned for another interesting episode with InFocus webinar series. That's all for today. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.